In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these delicious pastry biscuits with a homemade whipped cream and a delicious fresh strawberry sauce drizzled with some beautiful maple syrup. Combining pastry and biscuits for the bottom with the fresh whipped cream and the strawberries, this is the ultimate brunch/breakfast item. So the first thing you want to do is make your pastry biscuit dough. Now before you get started on that, place your butter in the freezer for at least 10 minutes so that it gets a nice chill to it and it hardens quite a bit. In a medium-sized bowl, you're going to combine your flour, your sugar, your baking powder, and your salt and mix it to combine. Then once your butter is cold, you're going to grate it into your flour mixture. Now you want to do this gradually. You're not going to do the full block of butter right away, but you're going to grate a bit of your butter and then you're going to gently fold it in. You want to make sure that your butter stays cold for one so that it doesn't melt, but you also don't want it to clump, so making sure that it's gently folding in and combining nicely. And you're just going to keep doing this until you fully incorporate your butter. If you notice that your butter is starting to melt, do place it in the fridge for a little bit. Now once your butter is fully grated, you're going to add your heavy cream in, but you're going to do this 1/3 of a cup at a time, gently folding it into the mixture. Again, you want to keep your butter intact. So if your butter starts to melt, do place it in the fridge for about 5 minutes and let it cool. And you want to make sure that your cream is very cold as well. It is going to be crummy like this as you're slowly adding in your cream, and that's okay. That's really normal. You do want to keep those strings of butter intact because they're going to make for nice layers and crispiness when you bake them. So once that's done, you're going to add your 1/4 cup of cream and your cold water and gently fold that in. Once it's combined though, you are going to knead it gently with your hands and create a ball. Again, you want to make sure that your hands are not too warm so that it's not melting the butter itself, but just gently kneading, and then you're going to place it in plastic wrap and put this in the fridge for an hour or overnight. Now while the dough is chilling, you're going to make your strawberry sauce or mixture. So you want to start by obviously washing your strawberries and then slicing them. You're going to take about 1/3 of those strawberries and you want to crush them. So kind of making a mash out of the strawberries here. You can use a fork or use a knife, whatever works better for you. And then you're going to combine all of your strawberries into a medium-sized bowl. So the chopped ones and the mashed ones all together. Add your sugar to this mixture, and then you're just going to combine it all together. Mix, mix, mix. And you're going to put this in a container and put it in the fridge to let all the juices soak up and the flavor to really become alive. You can leave them in the fridge for an hour or leave them overnight as well. Now, once your pastry biscuit dough has rested in the fridge, you can get a lightly floured surface down. You don't want there to be too much flour, but you don't want it to stick to your counter. And from there, you're just gonna roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thick. You do want to make sure that your dough is not sticking to your counter, so you can kind of lift it a little bit and swirl it around to get a bit more flour if it is starting to stick. But once you get that flattened out to about 1/2 inch, you're gonna fold this like a letter, just like this. And then you're gonna flatten this out again. Just being gentle, you obviously don't want your butter to melt. And again, you're gonna flatten this out to be about a 1/2 inch thick. And from here, you want to grab a cookie cutter, or you can grab a mug as well, whatever works. I used a 3-inch cookie cutter here, and you just want to cut out your pastry biscuits essentially. You can use whatever size you want, but obviously the baking time will be different depending on the size that you make. But again, here I just used a 3-inch cutter. And you just want to cut out your pastry biscuits like so. And from there you can place them onto a lightly greased piece of parchment paper. Now obviously there's some dough that's left over because we're cutting circles, so if you want to grab your dough and kind of knead it back together so that you can make more pastry biscuits, that's what I did here. They will taste just as good. They might not have the same shape or form, but they are just as delicious. And it's a lot less wasteful. And you can just cut out your pastry biscuits like this. So once you get these onto your piece of parchment paper, you're going to put these in the fridge first before putting the egg wash like I put here. Put these and let them chill in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And then once they've chilled, you can bring them out and put some egg wash on top and sprinkle them with some cinnamon sugar. This really packs it with a nice crunch once they come out of the oven. So just sprinkling it really as much as you want. And you're going to bake these at 350 for about 20 minutes. Now, of course, everyone's oven is different, so do keep an eye out on these as they are baking. You really just want them to have a nice golden brown look to them. Now, while those are baking, you do want to make your fresh homemade whipped cream. So you're going to combine your heavy cream, your powdered sugar, and your vanilla. I use my standing mixer here, but you can use just a whisk, an electric whisk, and you're going to whisk it until you get stiff peaks, and that will be your whipped cream. And then from there, grab your baked biscuits, pastry biscuits, add a dollop of whipped cream and your fresh strawberry sauce on top. I mean, just look at this, it's delicious. And of course, adding some maple syrup, because I'm from Canada and we love our maple syrup here. This makes for the ultimate breakfast brunch item. All homemade and just fresh ingredients. This is absolutely delicious.